With load shedding stage 6 being implemented, businesses and restaurants are set to be impacted even more. Ahmed Kajee joins us now live from Illovo. Ahmed, apologies. Good afternoon and thank you so much for joining us. Now, stage 6 load shedding and load shedding in general seems to be something that will be with us for quite some time. What alternative measures are restaurants taking in order to survive this period?
Thanks very much, Katlego. What we are seeing from various small businesses, small restaurants and newly established big restaurants as well. Many of them have actually come through and invested in generators, invested in inverters in some way or form to get their operations and to continue their operations in some way or form, especially seeing as though we have seen load shedding taking place over at least the last decade or so. So that just seems to be some of the mitigating factors which have been coming through. But in terms of foot traffic coming into some restaurants, this has increased in many instances. Many people choosing not to stay home and actually come out to eat as and where there is generating capacity as well. Something to also keep note of is that gas stoves is also being used in certain kitchens as well. So they're not necessarily required, electricity isn't necessarily required for instances in these areas. But for restaurants such as the one where we're at La Creamery out in Illovo, and this is actually situated in actually a mall. And this is actually something else to consider given the fact that electricity is more often than not supplied by the center as well. And I think this is actually a good chance for us to actually bring in Shazad Kasim, the co-owner of La Creamery here in Illovo. Shazad, thanks very much for your time today. Just take us through the dynamics of what we are seeing when you have a restaurant in a shopping center.
So with a restaurant in a shopping center, we usually get a high volume of people coming in, and we need to service those people. But what the load shedding has done with us is we had to invest in generators, because while the center might have their own generator, it doesn't run our kitchen. We also had to invest in gas equipment so that we can run through the gas equipment. But when there is load shedding, what happens is it slows down the flow of things. Sometimes the generators won't kick in. Take for today's instance, the center's generator never kicked in, so the water pipes aren't working. So we can't serve any hot drinks, and water is a problem. So it becomes a knock-on effect. So with regards to smaller businesses might have where they have to invest in generators and stuff, businesses out of shopping malls, but it's more or less the same thing. It's the same story. You might get a little bit more foot traffic because you're in an established center, but more than that, it still affects your business and increases your costs astronomically.
I mean, we are seeing today, despite load shedding being implemented up to stage 6, you still seem to have a lot of people coming through to your restaurant.
Yes, people do come out to eat. I think a lot of people don't have a choice but to come out to eat because they don't have power at home. But like I said, you get the foot traffic, but it slows down things. And at the end of the day, you don't want to have any unhappy clients, so it puts pressure on the kitchen and on the business as a whole. And because of the costs and things involved with it, it also affects your bottom line and affects the business as a whole. It affects the economy. Yeah, that's about that. With regards to people coming in, we've built a good client base, so we are shukr alhamdulillah, we are happy that our people are supporting us, and we just hope that it continues as is with or without the load shedding.
Shazad Kasim, thanks very much for your time indeed. So Katlego, there you have it in terms of what many of these restaurants are doing in terms of their contingency plans with regards to load shedding as well. But in centres such as this one, there is backup generators provided by these shopping centres, and you would see them across the major centres in the city of Johannesburg and perhaps the rest of the country as well. So for the established outlets, things seem to be slightly easier. There may be certain setbacks with regards to coffee machines, water supplies on that front as well. But overall, as you will see, business still tends to continue and perhaps even increase as people actually try to make their way away from load shedding. At least that's something that I would normally do on days when I am not working as well. But in terms of the traffic that we are seeing here as well, this seems to be the norm for many of the other restaurants based at shopping centres across the city of Johannesburg.
Thank you for that update, Ahmed. That's Ahmed Kajee, our reporter, coming to us from Illovo, giving us an update on the impact of load shedding on businesses.